Alright, so today I'm still working with these partnered coils, bucking coils, so on and so forth, trying to get a handle on exactly the interactions that they're having with LEDs. As you can see, we still have our coil here. We have our positive going in through our meter. It's reading 0.55 of a milliamp. We're at 12.61 volts. T2 is going straight into the collector, just as the diagram there shows. And these are some of the tests that I've been doing, and these are their diagrams. So I guess we'll start off with test 1, which we have here. So let's assume that we have T1 and T2 set up. This just positive means that it's positive from the battery, and negative will mean that it's going to the transistor. I obviously don't want to redraw the entire diagram every single time, so these are just the different arrangements that we're working with. In this case, we have A2 and B2 shorted together so that we get one big coil. A1 and B2 shorted there. Now these coils are bucking, so they're facing each other. Their magnetic fields will cancel out. Or at least they will try and buck each other. And we have 0.55 milliamps, both LEDs lit, showing us that there is an AC signal as they are connected in opposing fashion, and so we have both of them lit up. Okay, so then when we do test 2, we're still going to change over our LEDs to T1 and T2, and we're going to pulse from A1 to B2, just as we have on the diagram there. We still get an AC signal, though slightly weaker, at 48.48 milliamps. Now this is to be expected, as the signal has to travel through a lot more conductor and fire back to give us an AC signal on T1 and T2, which is this coil here. Okay, that's all normal. Now test 3, this is where I found some interesting bits where there doesn't even need to be a current path for between B coil and C coil, as we have here, for the LEDs to actually light. And I can show that now here. So we will go back to signal being on T1, coming out of T2, our LEDs being connected to A1, and our other LED being connected to one of the C coils. As you can see, B is not connected, other end of C is not connected, and yet we've got an AC waveform. Well, we've got an AC LEDs lighting. I don't know what the waveform is like. Still waiting for my crow. Everything's pretty much the same, 0.55 milliamps. Now we can connect B2 to C2 with no change. As you can see, LEDs are still lit, everything is still the same, and yet that's giving us the current path that we would normally want, so that we could actually, go through an even bigger loop, C1 and then out of C to get conduction, and yet we do have power transfer basically off of a single wire there. Now the same is true for other variations, so this isn't unique just to that there. For instance, if we were to connect, I believe it's A1 to A2. Nope, that's not it. I can't remember. Oh, that's right. If I connected the signal between B1 and B2, there would also be a signal between C1 and A1. Again, no current path there. So it's not that these are shorted out, although as you can see, if I disconnect them, so now I have broken the path between A1 and B1. So the ferrite rod is doing all of our magnetic translation back and forth. Now the important part is that if you take, now very interesting that when I hold one of the leads, no matter which one, even on the C1, it seems to disappear on me. So I'm definitely syncing all that. But nevertheless, that's out of the scope of this at the moment. So if we have the LEDs connected to A1, so now we have signal from T1 to T2, just like here, T1, T2, and we have the LEDs connected between A1 and A2. Only one side lights. Granted, brighter, but only one side, so there is no longer any AC signal back and forth. That coil, A1, is only translating in one way. I think Chris today posted a post about magnetic transference and so on. And I decided to do these tests just to have a look at some of the ways that this core, this ferrite core, it's a linear one, was doing some of the translations. And yeah, very interesting that the core was only doing a single translation. Now this is, actually, so if we reversed the LEDs, obviously the bottom ones will light. So yeah, no AC, still getting translation through me though, which I find to be mind-boggling. Still trying to figure this one out. So literally only the LEDs are connected only to A2. So if we look at this here, we've got signal T1 to T2 positive. One of the sides is connected to A1 and the other one is being connected to me, as you can see. And now on just the capacitance of me holding that there, it's translating the signal. So yeah, let's go back to just normal. There you go. So yeah, thought I'd share that. That's something interesting to play around with. Obviously, all those configurations, all those different lighting methods for the LEDs here, all still only take 0.5 or half a milliamp at 12 volts, which is, you know, very interesting. So still got our cap there. If I were to take off the power from the battery, and this will run for literally about 3-4 minutes quite happily in pretty much whatever configuration you want, which is another interesting part. That core is doing pretty much all the magnetic translation, from what I understand. I could be wrong, but from what I understand, this core is doing all the translation. And not giving us an AC signal in this case. It's literally only giving us one signal, and that is dependent on the actual frequency. As we can increase the duty cycle and we'll get brighter light. We're up to 2 milliamps now, although our voltage will drop a lot quicker. Yeah, we're at 10% duty cycle. And 6 volts. If we drop the duty cycle back down to 5%, LEDs get dimmer and we slow down our discharge. 5 volts, 0.3 of a milliamp, and we're still getting high voltage, although not through me anymore. So I wonder, oh, now it stopped. Now I'm just going to keep recording. I'm going to reconnect the battery. Okay, so now me touching it doesn't light it. What's different? Okay, so I caught that one on camera. That's interesting. T1, T2 connected. A1, A2. Nothing's lit. Yes, yes, yes. So you can see I can connect to A2, LEDs light. I can connect to B1, both LEDs light. I can connect to B2, both LEDs light, even though B1 and B1 and A1 are not connected at the moment. That core is doing all the translation. Still no. That is very odd. It was doing it before, and it's not doing it now. Well, I caught it on camera at least, so. Okay, we're off. Touching it now. Nope, there is nothing there. Sorry, I'm just trying to drown out the kids because they're screaming. Connected to one of the C coil. Yeah, we get that. See, me touching it stops the, but now it's not actually working. That is very odd. Okay, I think this video is going long enough. That's basically what I wanted to show. All that extra stuff in the back was, yeah, just something interesting to ponder. All right.